well, I'd worked very hard to keep it a secret. I didn't. There was no real way that I could work around it at the time. It was not too long ago. We went on a camping trip together, and I just think they saw it. They saw it in me, and they confronted me about it, and I just came clean.
I mean, it's hard to talk about, but probably maybe 6 months ago now, he asked me to move his car, and that's when I realised it's a really odd feeling. It's hard to describe how you feel when you're put in that situation. There's so much going on at once, and you think you know someone, but this one really hit me for six. I couldn't believe it. I was somewhere between angry and disappointed and just sad in myself that I didn't know about it for so long. Hey mate, can I borrow your keys to run down the street?
I can't touch it.
It was a long search. I remember looking for months on end, and I was about to give up, and it just happened like it was magic. There was one guy on Facebook who was willing to give me the pieces to complete what I needed.
To complete myself.
To complete me. So I got into that car. I drove an hour and 20 with the help of the foot, and we ripped that sumbitch out of him. And I'm gonna stick it to me today.
Oh, I mean, he's still never going to be the same bloke. Like, he still had a tranny, and I don't know how I feel about that, but I kicked him in the nuts and I talked some sense into him, and he found this transplant that you can do, and it's apparently I've seen some pretty good success rates. So.
Hey guys, welcome back to HGM Studios, and today we are
two dudes, one box, one day. Can we do it? Can two dudes smash one box? Let's find out.
I think I've seen videos where it's possible.
Ooh. So, we have a gearbox out of a AU Series 1, I believe. We're going to call it Riley Reid because it's pretty dirty. We're going to be putting that into the HGM Mobile. What's in the box, you ask? No, it's not a head. It's not any delicious cakes. It is a new clutch assembly. So, we're jacking the car up, obviously to do the transmission. But one thing that you always struggle with is actually getting the old transmission through. So we're going to get scientific and actually measure the lowest point of the car, which I think is this point here. But we don't need to worry about that because we're only going up here. So, roughly measure. Alright, so that's about 420 mil high. And bottom to top, if you want to slide it in square, it's about 420. So it'll be tight, or we can go up further. But yeah, much better to measure now than under there.
Alright, so first thing we're going to do, or I'm going to do, is disconnect the tail shaft here. Jackson is going to pull bolts out of the front of the transmission because I've told him to, or he's going to pull off this.
You're going to make me do that?
Yeah.
Oh, you're a cunt of a bloke.
Why? It's not that hard.
Yeah, for you.
Well, that's what we did when we pulled it apart.
I thought it was very cool. So, we're in a tight spot here, and we can't really get a spanner on it. But to get that undone, it's going to be quite tight. You just need more leverage. But if you have another spanner, watch this. Just like that. That's a Joe Exotic promise. Alright, so we're here removing all the bell housing stuff. But we have to remove the starter motor. And the hardest job that your car battery ever has to do is actually crank the motor over. So because of that, they basically run one solid power line all the way down the starter motor. So it's very important that you at least disconnect the earth, or you just pull the battery out, which is what I'm going to do. So, we are having issues with the bell housing bolts. What a surprise! As you can see, it's quite tight in here, and you actually can't get anything in there. There's a couple bolts. So we're going to pull the cross member off the transmission and lower the trans, and it will essentially tilt the motor back, and I might get a bit more access.
But, in good news, the original tail shaft lines up with the splines, and I've already measured the old gearbox with this gearbox. They're practically, if not, the same length. I've already measured the old gearbox with this gearbox. They're practically, if not, the same length. So, we should be all good.
So if you're out there doing a falcon swap, so far, the cross member is the same, we think. The tail shaft is the same. And as far as we can tell, the radiator doesn't have the cooler running through it. But as we go through it, we'll just let you know of everything you will need and everything you won't need, and whatever we're missing and not missing.
How much of a pain in the ass this is going to become.
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty on forums, but...
The forums were very unclear. There were some people that said you had to swap the bell housing, and there were some people who said you had to keep the same tail shaft from E-Series manual to E-Series auto. The tail shaft is the same. There are people that were saying the shifter position wasn't going to line up with the shifter position inside the car, but
we'll find out.
I've waited long enough and we've come so far that we might as well just find out together.
So for anyone else who's going to be doing one of these, tune in.
Yeah, this is great for you.
Oh.
7 days, 7 nights since my hair got cut and dyed.
Ah, we're in the bucket.
Had 7 days since
We're in the drain bucket.
I
would like out of drain bucket.
And his laugh is just as soft as yours.
More bucket.
Smiling just as wide.
Bucket is gone.
He could be what I like. And his voice is just as dark as yours. Freckles just as light. Could be what I
God, it stinks.
Alright. There's the old girl. There's the mystery thing that no one really understands. There's Jackson.
It gave me Sudan hands.
Oh god, don't. Alright, so
What are we discovering?
So, a new box that we probably should have checked before we started doing all this. Well, the issue is it's driving in neutral and locks up in every gear except for third and fourth. Now, it's driving 1-to-1 in neutral, so I have a feeling that it's stuck in fourth gear and it's only locking up because we're trying to select 2 gears at once. We'll pull the cover off and we'll see what it goes.
Alright, what have we discovered?
Our worst fears are sort of realised. I was on the right track. It is stuck in fourth. That's fourth gear. It's stuck all out. And we couldn't relieve it because our chute fork is unserviceable.
it's supposed to have a lip like this, like a fucking normal lip on it, and it doesn't. So that's interesting.
So I feel like our 1-day challenge wasn't very fair. I reckon we should get an extension.
I feel like we were doomed to fail from the start. Another gearbox! Woo!
So, we're back.
It's been a week.
It's been a full week. We've got some parts. We're here bright and early in the morning. Just kidding.
It's like 2 in the arvo
2 in
on
the
a
arvo.
Sunday and we're all hungover.
So, care to explain?
So obviously the shift fork, we know, was munted where the lip was supposed to be. There isn't a lip. So we got a gearbox out of another Falcon, which was at a wreckers. It didn't have 5th gear. It was at a gear transmission mechanics, and it didn't have 5th gear in it. Turns out it didn't have 3rd gear either, because 3rd gear is grinded to the bitches. But it's got both shift forks in good nick, so that's good. And there was a bit of worry that our main shaft was going to be snapped in half. Turns out the main shaft just wobbles like this because it's actually a 2-part shaft, which is pretty cool.
So,
Pretty cool, pretty lit.
we'll hit the reassembly. We'll film a bit. Should be good.
Gearbox mechanics.
Hands are tied, hands are tied, hands are tied. Cause he's got those stranger eyes, stranger eyes, stranger eyes. And he could be what I like, what I like, what I like. But he's got those stranger
Oh, there's blue
eyes,
shit
stranger eyes,
everywhere.
stranger eyes.
I filmed that so bad, so if that makes it into the video, I'll be very surprised.
And we're back at the HGM workshop. Week 3 of what we thought was going to be a 1-weekend install. Here we go.
So my butthole's been itchy. I reckon I've got worms. You want to smell it?
Oh. So what's been going on here, Riddle? Care to explain to the crew what you fucked up?
We put it all back together, kind of. We didn't put the belly housing on, but stuff had to go into here before this piece went on, and we put the shift forks on wrong. The shift forks are continuing to fuck us up.
Fuck. So I'd just like to take a minute and throw this out there. Any suggestions for any videos? We're open to do any sort of videos.
Thank you very kindly for watching the 4-inch lift video.
150 views overnight. Oh, not overnight. But last night, 150 views.
First video we've had break 100.
So yeah, we're pretty excited about that. If there's any more full drive stuff, Falcon stuff, motorbike stuff, we'll buy another car if we have to. We don't care. Just if there's anything you want to see, please comment it, and we'll do our best to make it happen.
Is that how I look shaved?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's
Not a good look.
nah. It's early days, but we're thinking of coming out with a little bit of merch. I've got a bit of merch.
Are we?
Yeah. Haven't discussed that one yet. Oh well.
So many times. Could you imagine at least we know the blue's good. I'm getting sick of seeing the inside of this gearbox. That was a lot easier.
It's a workout, isn't it?
A corking gun. I can't wait!
This gearbox is fucking killing me. So you'd think that they made pretty much all T5s the same. I bet you there's a bunch of T5 experts out there. They're gonna just hate me in the comments, and that I agree. I'm sorry, because what we've done, we've used a EL section of T5 with an EL rear section, but we replaced it. We replaced the shift forks with a BA top shift section, and the issue is
The forks are the same.
having is in here. So, when it's in neutral, that's supposed to be in neutral right now. Except,
It's in fourth or third.
that's driving. So our conclusion is...
That the shift fork, the rod that goes through the shift forks is longer than the rod that goes through the EL shift forks.
by about
20
one
mil.
one gate.
Yeah.
So we've had this part 4 times now.
It's going in today, and that's the last of it. I don't give a fuck anymore.
I like a challenge.
We're slapping this bitch in today.
Buddy, so we have a fully together gearbox now that does everything that a gearbox should. We're having some dramas with a pedal box, I believe. So it's just a assembly that holds the pedals in. We obviously need to change it because we have an extra pedal to put in.
It's not coming out.
So we're back. It's the end of the day. It's been a good day.
No,
It hasn't.
Nah.
So we had to pull the whole dash out. Just to actually, it's kind of hard to see, but there's not much of it. To get the pedal box out, which took a lot of the day, and then we were putting the putting the gearbox on, and turns out the bell housings are different. That's great.
How's it going?
So, we're back. It's now been over a month since we started.
Keep in mind, we're doing like a day at a time.
Yeah, we get distracted very easily.
We're doing one day a week, and it's been about 4 weeks.
So, if you're probably serious about this and you had all the right equipment, I still stand by you could have done this with the equipment we've got, obviously with a hoist and whatever, a lot quicker. We could have done it in a weekend, I think, but we still haven't finished it. It's been a month. But we have had a few curveballs, which is good. We like a challenge down at HGM.
I hate everything about this build so far.
You'll like it when it's finished.
Oh, I can't wait for it to be done.
I can't wait to your fryer clutch.
I can't wait, because at least then I'll know how to fix it. Actually, no, I reckon I can pull this car apart with my eyes closed at this point.
Only because you put 2 screws back in the car.
Yeah, fair enough. Alright, so the pedal box is in. There's clutch, brake, accelerator. Just hooking up the clutch cable now. The entire dash had to get ripped out to get the old pedal box off. So there's that. So that's pretty gay, but other than that, should be alright.
Welcome back. Weekend number 5.
Another little. We had a temperature. Well, last week we had off. Really?
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we did.
We were here on Friday.
Did we work on it on Friday?
Put the gearbox in, you put all your dash back in.
Oh shit, we did too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been that long, Oh,
There was a bit of a temper tantrum.
I hate this car!
We had a bit of a temper tantrum. Oh, I had a I spat the dummy.
Someone went home.
Someone went home very angry.
So basically, I don't know if we videoed it, I can't even remember if we did now. We built this gearbox, like you'll see in the previous weekends. We put it all together, we got it all working, but we went to put it in and the shifter position was wrong. So an AU shifter position doesn't fit an E-Series, EL anyway. We found a way around that. But the gearbox is about 30mm longer.
Which means that the tail shaft is about 30mm too long. I've already measured the old gearbox with this gearbox. They're practically, if not the same length.
And then we priced up locally to get one cut, shortened and balanced, and that was about $500 because they're an alloy. So not any average Joe could do it. So,
but you know what else costs about $500? The right gearbox.
as you can see, I'm standing
Back again with another gearbox.
Some would say we're giving up. I say we're just adapting.
Yeah, it's fucking was a bullshit game from the start. Fuck it was rigged.
We're gonna start calling this video "What Not to Do." When they your EL.
Doesn't matter. Riley Reid is going to get a gearbox today. Maybe.
Maybe. Don't fucking say that. So we're back. I'm gonna have to pull this one that we went the effort of putting in out.
Don't undersell it. We didn't go through all the effort of just putting it in. We went through all the effort of literally building it.
Yep. Anyway, instead of undoing all the bell housing bolts, I reckon I'm just gonna undo the bolts from the gearbox to the bell housing and slide it out that way.
Yeah, so if you're unaware, what we did was we bought an E-Series. I don't know if we filmed it. This sort of became a shit show at the end of it. We bought an E-Series bell housing to made up to the car properly. And now it turns out that none of it works, but we might as well leave that bell housing on because it's going to go onto that gearbox anyway.
Yeah, the bell housing's correct.
So at least the bell housing's right. Dope.
So this is the reason you can't put an AU gearbox into an EL. I just wish that someone told us this before. I wish that someone did some research into this. That would be really nice. So, after 5 weeks, we're finally bolting a fucking gearbox in.
It's all lined up.
This is the happiest bolt I've ever done up. There it is.
She's on.
Oh, that is satisfactory. So, what do we got? Well, we have the ECU drama now. More drums.
Hey?
More drums.
More dramas, but this one seems like a cheatable drama.
So, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the only reason we got the other ECU is so the car starts, because these autos don't actually start if they're in gear. They only start in park on neutral. I think that we could probably trick, I'm pretty sure it's this plug. Pretty sure we could bridge that out with the resistor and trick the car into thinking it's in a constant state of park, maybe?
Or neutral.
Or neutral. And that'll get it running. I honestly don't know what other dramas I'll have at this point because I've never done this, but we'll find out.
Okay, so tail shaft's back on. ECU is left as the auto one.
Lit.
We just plugged the neutral switch in.
We plugged the neutral switch in and just turned it to the part it needs to be.
Hopefully
that's right.
We've also got
New clutch cable.
New clutch cable, and what was the last thing that we did? You put the starter motor back on, and now we're going to try and turn it over. 1 month in the making. Ready?
Yep. Oi! That hasn't been started in a month.
How good!
Alright, put on the clutch. Take the handbrake off. Put your foot in the clutch. Now slowly let it off.
Let's spin it.
Yeah, go second gear. Third gear. Fourth gear. Fifth. Oh, that's enough. How keen are you?
Keen. It's T-play to weather as well.
Oh, shotgun. We're going for the testy.
Fellas. So she's not really built yet, and there's something leaking. I can hear. I'm not sure if you can hear it as well. Go for the sound of raw power.
I slipped so easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucked, bro.
You don't know. I think you might have just forgotten how much of a boat this thing is.
Oh, yeah. It's not now. That's pretty good.
Yeah. It's a surprisingly fast car.
It's a lot more responsive now. Took all that doughiness out of it, waiting for the gearbox to decide where it wants to be and shit.
Yeah. It did seem like sometimes you'd put your foot down and it would
ink for a second.
Yeah, and then
Now when you put your foot down, it's like
it just
a little
goes.
bit of throttle and then it's, yeah. That's just it.